Hello everyone, I'm back again with another God Guide. Sorry it's been a couple days since I got my last one out. Had a bunch of crazy things happen and I just couldn't quite get one out. But I'm back and I'm doing Chronos today. A god I was having a ton of fun with in Soul Lane before I took my break. As I just said, Chronos is a Soul Lane god who can also play mid and he can play Hunter. I don't like him that much in the Hunter role though because his damage late game is kind of meh. But he's very good, and I don't see him get picked that much. At least not back when I was playing every day. I didn't see him get picked all that much in Conquest. He has seen some competitive play, and he's done pretty well in competitive play. Now, first off, we're gonna start with the build, and for a starter item, very basic here. He's a mage. You get Vampiric Shroud. There's really no other way around it. Vampiric Shroud's very powerful. And that's really all that needs to be said. Now, you got a choice here. You can either do Lost Artifact or Tiny Trinket. Either one of these two are completely fine, just depending on what you want to build. For what I like to start out building, I like to get Lost Artifact. But Tiny Trinket is still also fine. Can't go wrong with either one of these. And then spend the rest of your gold on potions. So, first item I like to build is Doom Orb. Now, this is it's kind of risky to build Doom Orb because you really need to focus on staying alive. But at the same time, you really need to utilize the damage from it, or it's just kind of pointless to get it. And I think Chronos is very good at that, just because of his abilities and just what he does. He does a lot of damage with his abilities, and his abilities also keep him pretty safe, thanks to Accelerate and his ultimate. It gives you a lot of damage. Doesn't take too long to get stacked up. It's not very expensive either. You get it done pretty quickly. And it's going to help you do one thing that Chronos is extremely good at doing, and that is taking towers. He's very good at killing towers and phoenixes, and I'm going to kind of focus on that with my build, because that's kind of how I like to build Chronos. Secondly, I like to get power boots, more power, more kill potential, or tower killing potential. Late game you can get rid of this for cooldown reduction boots. But I really like to start off with power boots early. The extra mana is also nice. And, well, really, in all honesty, either one's fine. I just prefer to go power boots early. Next, we're going to get Demonic Grip. It's the magical version of Executioner. Chronos is a basic attack god for the most part, so it's good on him. Pretty much any Chronos build will want to have Demonic Grip. Then we're going to move to Obsidian Shard. This is going to be the item that really makes your tower killing potential just crazy. And that's kind of the main reason why I get it. This will also help your abilities do more damage, which is also nice. But yeah, you'll just be shredding towers at this point in the game. Then I like to go to Chronos Pendant. I like to get Chronos Pendant for that cooldown reduction. That should get your ultimate off more. It's going to keep you safer, and also just let you get your combo off for damage. Plus more accelerates. Accelerate's fun. Then we're going to get a Rod Tahuti. You're a mage. It's late game. You're going to have a Rod Tahuti. There's really no reason not to get a Rod Tahuti. Then, somewhere between around this area of your build, after you get these first 4 items done, that's about the time you can start thinking about getting rid of Doom Orb. You can hold on to Doom Orb after you get Ratatouille done. You can sell it before you even start Chronos Pendant, or you can sell it somewhere in between. Doesn't matter. Just whenever you think you want to get rid of Doom Orb, especially like at some point when you die late game, and you don't really feel like getting all the stacks back up. That'll probably be a pretty good point to sell it. But there's gonna be some better options later in the game for you to get the Doom Orb. And we're going to go over a few of them. You can get Bancraft's Talon. Bancraft's very good. It's a lot of damage. The life steal doesn't mean anything. You mainly just want to get this for the damage. Speaking of another item you want for the damage, and that's Book of Thoth. Now, Book of Thoth is a stacking item, but you don't really need the stacks on Book of Thoth. I think fully stacked, it only gives you like an extra 28 or so damage. It's not a whole lot. But the extra mana from it will be nice. And you're just going to get a lot of power just from the amount of mana you already have in your mana pool. They got Ethereal Staff. Sometimes Chronos just needs some extra health to stay alive, just like anyone else. And I really like Ethereal Staff. I think it's a very good item. A little underrated, I think. And lastly, we got Warlock Sash. The item I used to get on every single mage, and then I realized that it took way too long to stack. But Warlock Sash is still a good item. It's going to take you about 10 minutes or so to get the 100 stacks, which sucks because that means you got to sit in lane, farm it up, and, well, just hope that your teammates don't really need you for anything. As far as what item I like to build, it's either between Bancrafts or Ethereal Staff, just depending on how I feel the game's going. If I feel like I need some extra, if I feel like I'm dying a lot and taking a lot of damage, I'll get Ethereal Staff, just for the extra survivability. But if I feel like I'm doing just fine and not dying all that much, then I'll just get Bancrafts. Just depending on the situation. These other two are completely fine too. Although if you want to do Warlock Sash, I would build it early, because this item you have to have the stacks for, unlike Book of Thoth. And if you do Warlock Sash, I would not build Doom Orb, in all honesty. Now you don't have to build the Doom Orb. Doom Orb's not necessary at all. You can just start off with Bancraft's Talon. Just start Tiny Tree, build Bancrafts, and you'll be just fine. Then as far as actives go, mostly basic stuff for mages. Aegis is good for enemies that have high burst damage abilities like Scylla's ulti, Poseidon's ulti, Kukulkan's ulti, gods like that. Also, Loki, it's pretty necessary to have an Aegis against Loki. Beads, pretty much need beads on any mage. It's pretty necessary. Beads is very powerful. And, well, gets you out of many situations where you just would have died, because no one likes to be CC. Speaking of another item that will pretty much get you out of jail for free, and that's Combat Blink. If Combat Blink is up for you, you're not going to die as long as it's up. If you die when it's up, then you messed up somewhere. Then lastly, I got Hog here. Now, you don't really need Hog on Chronos, and I really would not suggest building this, because if you play him solo, usually the thing you want to do is get Hog, so you can secure your mana buff. Well, Chronos really doesn't need it with his passive and Accelerate if you stop it on the right spot. But at the same time, it's helpful to have mana camp. So, plus it helps you get to lane earlier. And there's one thing you can do if you want to get Hog on mages. And it's not great, because this is not the best active you want to get on mage, just because they need defensive actives. But in all honesty, if you want to start Hog, just get Fist of the Gods late game. This will help you peel. It'll help you if someone is just all in your face and just sticking on you. Just use Fist of the Gods. It'll stun them and you can get your distance. Which necessarily Chronos is pretty good at keeping his distance with Accelerate, but still an option. I just really wouldn't suggest it. I just wanted to throw that out there, as if you do feel like you need Hog, just build to a Fist of the Gods. But I would suggest one of these three items. Next, we're going to take a look at abilities. We're going to look at his passive first, which isn't really much of a passive. It's more just something that goes along with Accelerate. But in the bottom corner by your health bar, you'll see a spinning. Well, you'll see a wheel with the hand that's spinning. Basically, when you activate accelerate, the hand will stop. Depending on what section it was in, you get a different buff. Within section 1, you heal for 1.5% of max health per second. I mean, that's pretty good if you need the health regeneration. Section 2 is why you don't necessarily have to get mana buff early. And that's because you can get 100% mana refund on abilities, which is really good. And that lasts for as long as accelerates up. Third one is plus 20% magical power. Not bad. Section 4 is 35% magical power contribution to basic attacks. This is what you want to use for when you're fighting enemy gods or taking towers. You just melt people with this extra damage, cause that's a lot of extra damage. It might only be 35%, but that's pretty good. The main two you will want to use is 2 and 4. You can also use 1 for the health regeneration. You won't really ever use 3 because I just don't think it's really necessary. But it's an option. It's an option if you want to try to kill someone with one of your abilities. I just prefer to use 2 and 4. Although 1's not bad either if you need the sustain. Now, we're going to go over his actual abilities. And first one is Time Rift. Time Rift, it's a small area that does a pretty good bit of damage. 35% of your magic power. Has pretty good scaling. 260 damage. It's pretty good for the base. And this is the ability I like to level up first. I think it just gives you so much damage. And it chunks people early. Especially. Next we're going to go to Accelerate. This will be the ability you want to level up third. Basically you just want to get it early so you can activate Wheel of Time. And the extra movement speed is not bad, plus the attack speed. Also lasts for 7 seconds. So you'll get a lot of time on that Wheel of Time buff for whatever you choose to get. The only downside is you kind of have to wait to use it until Wheel of Time gets to the correct buff that you want, which can kind of suck in certain situations, but it's not really that big of a deal for the most part. Also remember on his movement speed for Accelerate, it doesn't just give you all the movement speed at one time, it does it over time. So you'll steadily get faster and faster. And then we got Stop Time. This will be the ability you level up second. It applies twice to them, the damage does. And after the first time it damages them, they get slowed. The second time, they get stunned. It also puts an attack speed slow on them for the very first thing. But that's not as big of a deal. The stun's only 1 second, but it does give you a slow, and then it gives you the stun. And it does a decent little bit of damage. Not too bad. You will want to combo Stop Time into Time Rift, because Time Rift has a slight delay before it goes off. And kind of what you want to do, you want to use Accelerate on, if you're going for a kill, use it on section 4, that gives you the bonus damage to your auto attacks. And just go in, auto attack them until you get right on top of them, and then hit them with Stop Time. And then hit Time Rift, because they'll be right in front of you. And you just do it all super quick. And you keep hitting them with your basic attacks. And they're going to take a lot of damage. They're either going to be dead or pretty close to dying. And then lastly, we got his ultimate. We got Rewind. Basically, it just takes him back to where he was 8 seconds ago. Also resets his health and mana to where it was at that point. And his cooldowns are reset. Except for Rewind, because that would just be OP. Now, a couple things with Rewind. It takes a couple seconds for it to go off. So you need to use it in advance. And you need to make sure that when you use it, that you're actually going to go somewhere that's going to put you in a good position. You don't want to be on low health and then for like 20 seconds and then use Rewind, because you're still going to be on low health. If you take a lot of damage from a fight, and they also take a lot of damage from a fight, like if you're just boxing a lane, you can just use rewind. You'll be back at full health and they'll still be weak. It's very good for that. You just have to. Rewind's kind of a tough ability to use properly because you have to know when to use it just at the right time and if it will benefit you. Because it has a pretty long cooldown. And because of that, it does. The downside with rewind is it doesn't do any damage. It's basically only there just to get you out of trouble. And that's only if you were in a good spot 8 seconds ago for you to be out of trouble. And because of that reason, I would get 1 point. I like to get 1 point in this ability at level 6. And then just don't even level it up until you get to until you get all the rest of your abilities leveled up. I would just put 1 point into it and then don't level it up again until you have nothing else to level up. And that's gonna do it with Chronos. He's tons of fun. He can take a little getting used to, but he's very good, and I know you guys will love him too. So that's gonna do it for this God Guide. Let me know down in the comment section if I forgot something, or just let me know if there's any other items that you like to build on Chronos. I'd like to hear your opinions on them. And, well, I hope y'all have a great day, and have fun.